Hey Harry, it's Coach Benlin here. Just breaking down some of your swings from my last couple sessions in January. I drew up some of my notes in a document that I could send you the PDF. There's three main things that we're going to focus on in this video session. I want to take this and go into our next hitting session next week and kind of discuss these three ideas. I don't want to give you too much. I want to focus in on three specific ideas. You've come a long way since our first session, our first video. A lot of good things are going on. I just want to kind of nitpick a few of them and try to elevate your game a little bit more here. So the first of the three things, I'll walk through the document and I have a couple videos to show you as well, in addition to your swings. Um, the main part of the swing that we're going to focus on is the load. I know we spent a lot of time on your load, but I think that you're getting there, you're getting closer. But I think these ideas will take you to the next level with your swing. So the first part, we're going to focus on the lower half of the load. And we talked about your initial leg kick that you had, getting the knee up, getting into the backside. I think we're ready to graduate from that. I think we're ready to graduate from the leg kick and move into a little more balanced and comfortable load. And I'll show you what it looks like in the video in a second. So let me show you the first couple clips, then we'll go back to the document and walk through it. Here's the first January session. And I want to show you the difference between this video and the next video. I think this session, we took a few weeks off and you were a little uncomfortable and I didn't think you were too focused here on these swings. And I'll show you what I mean. But then the next group of swings is a lot better, I think. But it goes to show that you got to really be locked in when you get, up to the plate, whatever your mechanism is, your pre-swing ritual, stuff like that. We got to make sure that we're doing that every time. So here you go. A couple good swings here, but for the most part, though, you look pretty uncomfortable. Fixing your mask, you'll see. Little off balance. And then I'll point out some of the things the differences I see between both videos. First thing that stands out is your timing. That was a good swing right there, but timing for the most part is a little thrown off. And you'll notice your hands not getting back in your load. You're also going to notice that you're standing upright and there's not a lot of athleticism in your swing. Some of these things are corrected in the next video though. So a week later, we come back and these are the swings you put on video, and I definitely think a lot of improvement here. I think you're a little more comfortable this week. And we'll go back to the notes and then break these down. Definitely want to improve the position of your hands and your load, get more out of your lower half, stay a little connected between the top and the bottom half. But if I walk through this swing, there's some good things going on though. Major improvements here. Right there, decent little load, right? Not enough going on the lower half, but you're balanced. Head's on your front shoulder, hands are in a decent position here. You're not dropping your hands as much as you used to. Good follow through, using your hips a little bit. You can see that you're standing upright a little bit too much, and we'll talk about that in a second. But overall, I think the swings are pretty good. Let's go back to the document. So when we're talking about this load, I've been using the terms hover and hit, hover and hit. Sometimes you get this robotic up down kind of load, and it's throwing off your timing, right? So regardless of what pitch is thrown, whether there's velocity on it or spin or it's off speed, that up down is kind of upsetting your balance. So when I say hover and hit, I want to make sure that we're elevating that front side, and I wrote right here, elevating that front side to get into the back hip, right? Being balanced there, so that when you do want to come down and be ready to hit, you're not on the front side, right? You're not ahead of yourself in your swing. You're nice and balanced and relaxed, and you're ready to hit. So when we elevate that front side, we want to make sure that we're generating in the back hip and in the rear leg. So I kind of put some, and these are things that we've talked about before in the sessions, making sure that when we're building in that rear side, that back leg, that we're putting pressure on the inside of the foot, the inside of the back knee, in the quadricep, and into the back hip. That's where we're going to be loading. And I'll show you a great drill that'll help you with this, that you can do at home as well. But we want to make sure that there's pressure building in those spots. Right now, I feel like you're upright and you're disconnected between your lower half and your top half. I want to make sure that while we're loading, we're generating power while being on time. So we want to make sure that we're building in the inside of the foot, inside of the back knee, and then into that back hip. When we do load on our backside, we want to make sure that our back knee is inside of our back foot. And I'll show you a good video, Mike Trout swing that does a great job showing you what that looks like. And as we're loading, we want to make sure we're building tension. We talked about the rubber band, right? Pulling back the rubber band, building tension until we snap forward, right? I wrote the word uncoil is popular today in hitting terms. You're loading up, building that energy. And as soon as that front foot comes down, you're ready to unload and uncoil, throw your hips in your hands, and attack the baseball. So we're going to build in the back hip, right? Hover and hit. Build in the back hip, balanced, generate power while maintaining timing, get the front foot down, and then be ready to hit. And the drill that's really going to help us with this is jump backs drill. I think we did it in the last session with you. Here's Melky Cabrera working on this with a trainer in Dominican Republic. If you're on YouTube, type in Valdez Hitting Club. He has some great stuff. But watch the drill he's working on. He's working on jumping onto his backside, back foot, keeping that knee bent, staying in that back hip before he swings. Check out a few swings here. Balance, right? Not up, down. Hover and hit right there. Stay balanced. Build in the backside. That back knee, in front of that back foot here, inside that back foot, and throw the hips in the hands. Great drill that you can work on. We'll bring that into the next session as well. These are called jump backs. Definitely going to focus on building in your back hip and your rear leg. The next video I want to show you here is Mike Trout slow motion swing. I want you to focus on, what we're going to call the crunch, and I'll show you what I mean by that. It's a term I've been using the past couple of weeks. It has to do with your load as well. So when I say crunch, that while you're loading and while you're building back, you don't want to be standing upright. So when we say crunch, it's kind of like you're lowering your level a little bit, sitting in your hips, being athletic, bending our knees, keeping our shoulders over our toes, staying in that athletic position. I wrote start athletic, and stay connected between the upper half and the bottom half. As you stand upright, you lose that connection between both sides. So watch here in Mike Trout's swing. When he loads, you're going to see his hands come back, right? His chest pull back with it a little bit. You're going to see that his hips, he's going to sit in his hips. They're going to sink a little bit, and watch that back leg or that rear leg. Here we go in slow motion. Front side comes up. He starts getting into those pressure points. So right here, let me draw on the screen and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So in that backside here, we're talking about while you load, building in the inside of the back foot, inside of the back knee, and then a lot of action back here in the hip, right in the back hip. And you're going to feel it straight down this quad right here. So while you load, that's where the pressure and the energy is being built. Okay. Going back to the swing in slow motion. When I say crunch, this is what I'm talking about. See, he's all crunched up right there. All that energy as he tracks the ball in. He's building backwards, ready to go, staying balanced over that backside. A lot of tension being put into the hips and the back leg as he's tracking the ball. Front foot comes down, and then you're going to see hips and hands. Back elbow's going to be tight to the body. Knee's going to drive forward. Attacks the baseball right here. I know we're comparing to Mike Trout, one of the best in the game, but a lot of good things that we can learn from. Let's show it one more time here. When we talk about crunching in the load, watch how he builds. Gets in his hips, gets in his knee, hands are back. He's all crunched up, ready to go. Right about there, before he's getting ready to land. I'll draw on the screen one more time. Hands are back, right? He's sinking in his hip level, right? Keeping his waist down. Building energy on the inside here, from the back knee to the inside of the foot. And this front foot's going to come down and land here. And that's where these hips are all going to go. We're going to open here. And these hands are going to come at this level right here and attack the baseball. Connected lower half and upper half. Crunching in the load. Keeping the hands back. Ready to uncoil. Foot comes down. Here we go. Let all that energy go that you build, like the rubber band. Snap it. So really focusing in on the load here. To go back to the document quick, the last thing that really jumped out at me was our hands, right? So in your load sometimes, and you'll see it in both videos. I'll show you the video again. Your hands sometimes they come forward as you track the ball in. So while you're loading, you're watching the ball and your hands are coming forward and they're even dropping sometimes. So I wrote drift and drop. We have to make sure that our hands are not drifting forward towards the pitch while we watch it. And we have to make sure that our hands aren't dropping as we track the pitch as well. I wrote win the battle with gravity. So what's naturally going to happen as you try to, keep those hands back while you're waiting, while you're tracking the ball in, they start to drop, right? Gravity's pulling them down. Win that battle with gravity, keep them back, right? Keep them up. Don't drift them forward. Keep them outside of that back shoulder until that foot comes down, and then let them go, right? And the drill that we did last time was the hands back drill. I have another video from the Valdez hitting club here. So we put this. I did the same thing with you in the clinic. We put the tee behind your stance, and I said, whether or not you knock the ball off the high tee, make sure your hands are getting back so that you're trying to knock that ball off the tee. And here's another view of the drill that we did. Look just like this, making sure our hands are getting back as we load, not drifting forward, right? Knocking the ball off the tee. So you don't have to necessarily do that every time, but it's good to keep that in the back of your mind. Your hands must get back in the load, must stay back, right? Lifting that front side up, getting everything over that back foot, loading up, ready to go. So just to review, and I'll show you the swings one more time. In our load, we want to make sure we're not doing that robotic leg up, leg down, right? Up, down load. We want to make sure that we're balanced, the hover and hit mentality where we're getting into that back hip, staying balanced, timing up the pitcher, landing the front foot, and then letting it all go, letting all that tension go, uncoiling right at the right moment, making sure that we're building in the right areas of our backside, back hip, inside of the back knee, inside of the back foot. We'll work on jump backs with that, right? The second thing we talked about was the crunch, right? Staying connected, staying athletic, starting athletic, staying athletic, right? Sitting in our hips with a little knee bend, especially in the back, shoulders over toes, staying athletic like the Mike Trout load, right? And the last thing we talked about was avoiding drift, avoiding drop with our hands, winning the battle with gravity. We talked about the hands back drill, knocking the ball off the tee. And all of these things can be practiced at home. I wrote on the bottom here, load and hold, right? These are mirror reps. You could do this looking at yourself in a mirror at home. You don't even need a bat. Working on your load 20 times a day will make you so much better of a baseball player. Get set, get in the athletic stance, load, land, and hold that position, hold the pose, and look at where everything is. Are your hands back, right? Do you have balance? Is your back knee inside of your back foot? Are you connected lower half, right? Are you athletic throughout the load? And if you do that every day, mix it in every now and then, watching in the mirror, load and hold, you're going to get a lot more balance and you're going to feel a lot more comfortable. So I know this is a lot. It's very wordy. I'll send you the document so that it helps with the language. But if we go into the next session focusing on these three things, I think you're really going to get better with that load, more comfortable. It's going to lead to balance, timing, and it's going to generate more power. Um, any questions, please reach out to me. You can email me or we'll discuss in the next session. Thank you.